It was a quiet morning at my mountain cabin. It's a kind of stillness I loved. Pine-scented air drifting through the open windows. It's a crackle of the fireplace, and a steaming mug of coffee beside a stack of maps and classified briefings spread. Across my desk, I was deep in discussion with General Anderson, a four-star whose presence in my home office was no small matter. As we coordinated a joint military exercise involving air support and logistics staging near the state border, Mann's calm, authoritative voice filled the room as he pointed out strategic locations on the map. That's when the door suddenly banged open without warning. Ash! And in stomped HOA Karen, clutching a clipboard like it was a weapon. She didn't knock, didn't announce herself, just barged in, eyes already narrowed, demanding to know why. Someone like me was occupying this cabin year-round when HOA policy dictated seasonal residency. I opened my mouth to tell her again that my property wasn't under her jurisdiction. But she was already launching into a rant about unauthorized renovations and suspicious activity involving strange vehicles she'd seen parked outside, which in reality were unmarked military transports. Then she turned her head and saw him. General Anderson didn't move, didn't speak. He simply looked up from the map with that steely, battle-hardened gaze, the kind that made people stand straighter without realizing it. Karen's mouth fell open, mid-sentence, her eyes flicking. From his uniform to the rows of ribbons and medals on his chest, her voice faltered into a mumble about disturbing the peace before fading completely. Anderson calmly asked, "Ma'am, are you authorized to be in this room?" She stammered something about community oversight. But the weight in his tone made her realize how far out of her depth she was. I leaned back in my chair, sipping my coffee, watching her fumble for an excuse. The general, without raising, his voice informed her that she had just walked into an active federal planning session, and that her presence was a potential security violation. The color drained from her face as she muttered an apology, backing out of the room as if she'd stumbled into a lion's den. When the door finally shut, Anderson gave a small smirk and said, "You deal with this often?" I chuckled and told him it was a weekly occurrence. From that day on, Karen never came within 50 feet of my cabin again, and I made sure to keep the general's visits well within her line of sight, just in case she ever forgot.